Hey folks, what's up? This is Adam here. I can't see a guy. Welcome to the Movie Vault. Got time now to do a review, an updated review. Nothing on what I've been similarly been uploading recently. Bear with me when I have a bit of my apple cider. Movie review time on, like, well, a film that I wouldn't expect to see Macaulay Culkin acting. Macaulay Culkin, as you all know, is the star of Home Alone. Plays Kevin McAllister, in the most famous Home Alone movie, a movie which he made famous, a film that made him famous also, so we all know the story of Home Alone about Kevin McAllister defending the house against the two burglars, Harry and Marv, you know, played by Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci. I mean, he made Home Alone 1 at this point, and Macaulay Culkin's father, who was his manager, wanted him to do like a bit of a dark film. And from the information that I read, he wanted him to appear in this particular movie. Macaulay Culkin is going to star in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. So they agreed. That's what I heard. Did some research on the internet, and Macaulay Culkin's father put that condition down that, unless they let him act in The Good Son, which is today's review, The Good Son, that he will not do a Home Alone 2. Now, he's a total different character in this movie, Macaulay Culkin. He plays an evil little shit. An evil little shit who manipulates your mind, looks like an angel. He's got like the angel look face, like Macaulay Culkin has. Like in the Home Alone films, he's got this innocent face and acts innocent. Where in this movie, he's like acting innocent, he looks innocent, but at the same time, there's a dark side about him, a dangerous side that makes him this psychopath, basically, and he's only a child. Now, this film got a lot of negative feedback, and I can't believe all the negative feedback this film got, because I thought this movie was a good movie. I thought Macaulay Culkin did a great job in his role in this movie. Like I say, he plays this kid who appears to be an angel, acts like an angel most of the time, but then when he's alone with this other kid, he starts doing disturbing things, such as things like making this big crossbow, which he handmade, aims it at a cat, goes to shoot the cat, and he says something like, the aiming's not right yet. There's a scene where a dog gets killed, where he kills him with the same crossbow, dumps the body down a well. At first he appears mischievous, but then he's like, mischievous goes out of line, he turns and does evil things. I mean, at first he's like with the kid, smashing windows in this abandoned place by the tracks, smoking, he does typical things what a child would do in a mischievous way, but it goes from that to more evil things as the film goes along. Now, people say Macaulay Culkin was the wrong kid to be this evil kid, because they got used to him being this innocent kid in like Home Alone, And people complain about this movie saying it was too evil for kids. Well, no fucking shit. The film, if you look here, it's rated 18. Or in some other regions, rated R. So just because there's kids in it doesn't mean that the film is for kids, It's one of the arguments I get with most movies, why parents fucking complain about a particular movie saying this is not for kids. It's like all that fucking shit that Silent Night, Deadly Night got, with the Killer Santa Claus, with the advertising on TV where the kids saw the ad and they freaked out at the fact that the Santa Claus was a killer and all that kind of shit. And people fucking hit the roof over stupid shit like that. Gotta protect the kids, gotta protect the kids. This movie was particularly the same because, from what I read, what's his name now? Well, I'll just find him. Who gave this film shit? Roger Ebert. He says this film was inappropriate for kids, and he only awarded it half a star. Then later changed his mind and gave it 2 thumbs up. And again, the critics, they just would not accept the fact that Macaulay Culkin plays such a role in this, because I got too used to him being a comedic, innocent kid in Home Alone. They thought he was the wrong casting, so they've seen him like in the wrong type of view. I mean, Macaulay Culkin's had different roles in different movies. I mean, he was in Richie Rich, that was good. You know, he plays an eerie character in Party Monster. You know, there's this movie, there's the Home Alone movies. You know, he's been in different films, Macaulay Culkin. He's portrayed different characters. It just goes to show that he can play more than just the innocent kid and the nice looking kid. You know, he's got like this angel face, but can also be a different character in the way he can portray it. Like, for example, angel face, but fucking evil little shit, like in this movie, The Good Son. You know, he just goes to show he can play any character. But the other kid who's in this movie, Elijah Wood, who plays Mark Evans in this movie, basically the story is about him. His mother is very sick in the hospital and is dying. And eventually she passes away due to a terminal illness. Of course, he's devastated, he's suffering, and he's got a father who is a very devoted father, hard-working, and he's got to go away on a business trip, you know, because he wants to work hard to help bring his son up properly, you know, but at the same time he wants to do what's best for his son, and he doesn't know what the right decision is to make, because he's got to go away on this big important business trip which can help him earn a lot of money to keep him and his son going. So he agrees for his son to stay with his aunt and cousins, and one of his cousins is Macaulay Culkin's character. You know, so he thinks it'll do him best to stay around children to help him take his mind off the death of his mother. So that's what he does. And immediately, him and Macaulay Culkin's character form a bond, like a friendship. Like I say, they get up to mischief, and they do typical things like playing a treehouse and just normal things what kids would do. But he develops like a mischievous nature, like smoking, breaking windows and things like that. And slow, scene by scene, we see some more evil sides. Like I said at the start of this review with the crossbow, you know, an evil shooting device that Macaulay Culkin made, you know, aims at a cat, shoots it, and says that the sight isn't right yet, when all along we know he purposely missed on purpose. You know, there's a scene where they're being chased by a dog on this bridge, you know, and at one stage Macaulay Culkin kills the dog by shooting it with the same device, and they end up dumping the dog's body down the well. You know, there's a scene where Macaulay Culkin's character is not very friendly towards his sister, and this is where the first question arises in my mind, because there's an evil scene where they're on an ice skating, like an ice skating rink, you know, where the lake's frozen over, and he watches his sister go on thin ice and to watch her drown. You know, so he's being evil towards his sister, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, is at a certain age, like 10 years old in this movie, Macaulay Culkin? And I'm thinking to myself, why is all this stuff occurring now that his cousin's coming to stay with him? Didn't the parents, or didn't even the little sister for that matter, notice anything strange about Macaulay Culkin, the way he was treating her? You know, didn't she tell the parents that Macaulay Culkin was acting this way with her? Why is it so coincidentally happening now that the cousin is there staying with them? Why? Why is it all happening now at this minute? Why this specific time? You know, that's what I always wanted to know. So in a way, I was really interested, like, what was Macaulay Culkin's character like before his cousin came to stay? You know, what was he like prior to all that? You know, was he as evil to his sister? You know, was this something that slowly built, or something that came all at once? That's one thing I've always wanted to, you know, really know. But all this stuff seems to be happening while Mark's there, you know, the cousin. You know, it all seems to be happening now all at once. And again, you've got this back and forth war between Macaulay Culkin's character and Elijah's character, like psychological threat. I thought they worked together, great. But there's even a scene where he holds a knife to Macaulay Culkin's throat, and you know, we've got a couple of kids doing this. You know, and people are complaining this is not for kids. Well, look, rated 18. You know, it's not for kids. But there wasn't some scenes where your heart would pound, like the scene where he puts the knife to Macaulay Culkin's throat, threatening to kill him. You know, there's a scene where there's a hanging from a treehouse, and Macaulay Culkin's hold on to him and says, "If I let you go, can you fly?" So there's always a question if he's going to let him fall and injure himself, or even get killed in the process. You know, But the kid Elijah, he's like Mark. He's already lost his mother, so he feels like it's his responsibility to protect the little sister of Macaulay Culkin. You know, he feels like he's responsible for her safety, so he becomes very protective over her. You know, the scenes in the movie where he thinks he's got to do everything in his power that he can to protect her because he feels he can't go to his aunt and tell her what Macaulay Culkin's character is really like because he knows he won't be believed. They'll just take it as him being depressed or upset over his mother's death and he's grieving for her and it's affecting him mentally. Or they might just see it as, well, Macaulay Culkin's our son. This is not our son, it's our nephew. So, of course, we're going to believe our son over a nephew, you know, that kind of thing. So, he's in a bit of an awkward situation, you know. There's even a devastating car crash scene where Macaulay Culkin gets a dummy and pushes it over this bridge up the highway into the traffic below, causing this horrific car crash, you know. There's even that scene, you know, a devastating car crash scene where he throws a dummy into the highway and all the cars crash, and you got that scene. You know, and so basically throughout the whole movie, it's like Macaulay Culkin's character and Mark being together, but going through fun situations, but then devastating situations, suspense situations. And Macaulay Culkin, in my opinion, he did a good job playing the little shit, basically. That's what I call him, the little shit. Because it's like the scene where he's saying something like, he's talking about the death of his mother, of his cousin's mother. You know, he's saying things like, I thought your mum was now worm food and all that shit like that. So he's really messing with the boy's mind, you know, saying all these evil, nasty things. You know, so he's acting like a little shit, he's talking like a little shit. And despite him even being a kid, you won't mind seeing something bad happen to him because of everything that he's doing in this movie. You know, I really went off the character when he killed the dog, despite the dog being a shit itself, you know, for trying to kill the kids by running after him, you know, running to attack them and all that kind of stuff. So there's plenty of scenes in this movie. I mean, never forgave him for trying to shoot the cat either. So there's scenes in this movie where you won't mind seeing something bad happen to the character, you know, and the ending just fitted right well because the ending takes place on a cliff, and the aunt is holding Macaulay Culkin and Mark by the hand as they're hanging over the cliff. And this was moments before Macaulay Culkin tried to kill his own mother. You know, he's looking into his mother's eyes saying, Mom, I love you. You know, and now she's got to make a decision right on the spot about who to let go and who to save. Does she drop her son? Or does she save the life of her nephew? You know, she obviously makes a decision on the spot and chooses the nephew, so she literally lets go of her own son and lets him fall to his death below. And you're thinking, what a moment, because, you know, if you were a parent, you know, and you just knew for a fact that your child was trying to kill you, and you'd think to yourself, there's something not right in the child's head, and they need psychiatric help, or you want to get to the root of the problem, but then you're making a decision on the spot whether to end his life or save his life, and you can only do it with one of the kids, and her decision was to save her nephew over her own son. You know, so it was like a really on the moment, devastating decision to make, you know, especially for someone who was in that position. Choose the nephew, choose the son, and she chose the nephew. You know what I mean? He falls onto the rocks below, he dies, and the water washes him away, all that kind of stuff. So overall, the film was like it had a very dark nature, and it was good to see Macaulay Culkin in a different role than what we usually get used to seeing him in. You know, it just goes to show that Macaulay Culkin can play different characters in this movie. I thought he did a fine job. I thought everybody did a fine job in this movie. I want to look at the cast side of things again. Elijah Wood played Mark Evans, who was the kid whose mother died. Again, he did a great job of his role. He did a good job of trying to being protective over the little sister and protecting her, and he also showed good signs of emotional pain when his mother was dying and all that kind of stuff. One thing I wouldn't want to mention is David Morse played the father in this. David Morse usually plays the villains in different movies, but I remember David Morse because he was in my all-time favourite movie, The Green Mile. He played Brutal, you know, the tall, the tall prison guard who worked alongside Tom Hanks. So Usually he plays the villains, but he played the father in this. So, I mean, overall the film was only on for, well, 86 minutes. Budget $17 million and made $60.6 million at the box office, but got a very negative reception. Officially released of September 24th of 1993. Yeah. Who was it directed by? Joseph Ruben. It was also produced by Joseph Ruben as well and Mary Ann Page. Written by Ian McEwan. Yeah. But like I say, I received general negative reviews, and I thought it was all for the wrong pathetic reasons. The fact that parents complained that the film wasn't for kids, because so many kids would see Macaulay Culkin as the Home Alone Kevin McAllister character and will want to see him in a role like this. Parents complain about fucking anything. Roger Ebert, like I already mentioned, gave the film half a star out of 5. Said it was a creepy, unpleasant experience for a role like Macaulay Culkin, but later gave the film... What? I got that fucking wrong. I said at the start of the film he gave the 2 thumbs up. He changed his mind, but no, I was wrong about that. Sorry, my bad. He gave the film half a star, and he and Gene Siskel later on gave the film 2 thumbs down. What the fuck is wrong with people? I mean, the film's not a disaster. If there's any film I could relate to that I've been similar to this movie, I'd say Orphan. The movie Orphan. That's a similar type of movie. About the girl Esther, trying to be acting evil one minute and a sweetheart the next. The Good Son is very similar to that film in a similar way. So if you like the movie about Esther, being the film Orphan, and you're a big fan of the Orphan movie, then you'll definitely like this one for sure. The only difference is this was made in 1993. And they're both similar type of movies, so please check this out. It is a film... I'm not saying it's the best movie in the world, but I was satisfied with everything that happened in it. I definitely don't agree with all the opinions of all these critics when they put this film completely down like that. It's fucking outrageous. Macaulay Culkin does have the right to play different characters, not to be judged and viewed as one particular character. So, just my opinion. Please like, rate, and comment this, everyone, and email if you've got any questions. That's my review of The Good Son, and again, leave your comments below and email if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.